I'm in a docu-series? I don't even know what that is. But when does it get released already?
Do you really want to know?
Yes!
Diego, I know this is gonna sound really weird, but I want you to lay down and meditate.
I think I have some movies that will basically float your boat.
A movie, right? Not just some lonely kid?
Diego! Diego!
I don't get it. I don't know why
I snuck my way into the swap meet and instead of selling it, I put the DVDs up for rent.
No!
French is more important than orphan. Let me just walk you out real quick.
Buy! It's selling everywhere, man. It's selling across Europe. It's selling across Asia. It's selling across the US, man. It's crazy, man. Even the CIA bought Erga. There is no cure, baby. And even the CIA bought Erga.
I'm sorry, dude.
What?
Okay, what the heck?
Presto.
Why that pocket? Your side pocket right now.
They're making a comeback, baby.
Bro, this. I'm Diego Atkinson, and this is the best documentary.
Well, the music does have a spiritual quality to it, and it's something that we were aware of when we would do the sessions because you'd hear all the sound coming out, and it was just indescribable.
Oh, when I first heard that flick, I said, I want to make an album like that. And we did Pet Sounds after that.
Welcome to my room. Boom! Wind chime. The wind chime that was in my opening shot for the film. That's the and it was in the film. This is a character.
It's Mr. Windchime himself.
Yeah, it's
in
the
the flesh.
This is the wind chimes I use for my film.
Crazy dubs, man.
Crazy dubs, man. We got this corner, kind of lawn corner. All right, what do we have here? We have my albums. This is from the Smile box set. This is also from the Smile box set. This is the sessions. Check this out. I'm gonna open it up for you guys. I don't know why I stutter. I get excited when I stutter. Check this out. Surfs Up. We got Heroes and Villains, and we got all the big boys.
It's all on his Instagram.
It's all over my Instagram. You're probably thinking, in the Smile sessions, CDs, right? Not DVDs, but CDs. Isn't there so many good vibration tracks? Yes, but I also have good vibrations. Now, you're probably thinking, dude, enough with the Beach Boys all summer long. We got it right here in mono. I'm excited. And then the original Surfin' Safari
Crazy.
in mono. Check this out. Their first album, Beach Boys. We got more of wind chimes. This was a gift from you getting wind chimes.
Yep.
This is move that. This is more wind chimes. I got it as a gift after my film came out, but I really appreciate you giving me these wind chimes. Amazing. They sound perfect. Who's that in here? Who's that
Marty
in here?
McFly.
Oh my gosh.
Where's Dr. Emmett Brown?
I'm in 2023. We got some movies here right now. Check it out. These are kind of like the top ones I have.
What about Malcolm in the Middle, dude?
What about Malcolm in the Middle? We're not gonna go over that right now.
What?
Boom, more Beach
Oh,
Boys.
I thought you were gonna say
more Beach
I thought you were gonna
Boys.
say Sui.
More Beach Boys. We got the biopic in
Bioshock?
in Japanese, believe it or not. This is imported from Japan. Boom. Movie number 2. Cinema Paradiso. This is a foreign film straight out of Italy. This genre, I mean, I can't really say what it is. It's kind of comedy, kind of drama, kind of aqua, kind of goodness, freshness. Kind of aqua. And then we got boo-doo-doo, boo-doo, boo-doo. Movie number 3. Movie number 3.
Is it called Presto?
It's called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Crazy movie, crazy
Is that
design.
a horror movie, man?
Maybe. Who knows?
Like I didn't know.
Make sure it's straight, my guy.
Sorry.
Get over here right now. We got the big book I bought for $50. George McFly murdered. We got more CDs. CDs, anyone? Smile. Does it get any better than that? No. No, it doesn't. Unless we're talking pet sounds. Unless we're talking Today and Summer Days and Summer Nights. Unless we're talking Wild Honey. Unless we're talking The Sounds of Summer. Unless we're talking... Okay, enough of the Beach Boys. Fine. We got Big Wave. We got Bob Dylan. We got Spanish tunes. We got Zorn. We got Morgan Delt. We got...
Who doesn't like Morgan Delt?
We got this one, big one. I can't remember the name. Then we got The Cure. I used to edit my film. And I used Filmora. At the time it was X. But now, for my documentary, 12. Speaking of documentary, are you guys ready? Probably thinking, enough with the bedroom, we get the bedroom, so let's go with the documentary. In February 2021, I began my pursuit of creating my first passion project. The Smiling Trail Wind Chimes is a non-profit film I conducted for my charter school. It wasn't like any other project I had worked on. I worked on this project every day leading up to its premiere on May 21st, 2022 at my local movie theater. This project is inspired by many events in my life, crafted and developed into a feature-length film. Today, we'll go into these events and dive into the true meaning of the Smiling Trail Wind Chimes. If you haven't seen my film, I suggest doing so before we continue this docu-series. Let's begin. Believe it or not, there is a life I had before I was old enough to retain information and have memories. I don't have much to say about this side of my life. I was barely a part of it. Luckily, I'm the youngest in my family, so I'm sure my parents and siblings have a lot to say about what it was like before I turned 4.
We always knew that we wanted three children. I saw it in my eyes. I saw that glow in my eyes. There's a certain glow which I am able to recognize. And right away I knew. So I took a pregnancy test. I was so excited and happy for having a baby. And so right away I told Papi, here comes a pilon. Not pelon, pilon. In Spanish it's a slang for like the last one or the
special surprise.
The special surprise, yeah.
We already had gone through understanding the process with PP and Stefan, so we were calm, excited, very happy that we wanted to meet you. Making plans and buying stuff for you and seeing what we have your bedroom and have the setup for you. So we were happy and patiently waiting for the moment. Happy, excited. Yes, I do remember that. One of my best friends died, and he came to the Lord a few months before dying, and he developed a very deep relationship with God. But a year after he died, I was given an opportunity to talk to him. I was missing talking to him, so God gave me the opportunity of talking to him. We had a conversation in heaven. There was something dividing me from him or him from me. I couldn't clearly see heaven or him, but I could see the silhouette of him, and I could clearly feel him, as Paco, as who he was, just to skip to the conclusion, he told me that he would take care of Diego's heart. Obviously, you were not born, and we didn't even know that you were going to be born, and we at that time would never imagine that we would name you Diego. So that was a little bit supernatural. I guess the next question would be, why Diego? He was not connected to Paco. We were looking for names, and we were looking for a name with a male name with a lot of strength, well defined as a male name, but also a name that you can pronounce easily in different languages, like Italian, Spanish, English, that would still sound defined. And we came across Diego. Pronouncing in the 3 languages sounds the same, sounds Diego, still very emphatic, so we really liked the name and we thought it was perfect for you. Then I remembered, oh, Paco told me he was going to take care of Diego's heart.
Well, you were late 3 days, but going back a little bit, because I think it's something unforgettable. We had an ultrasound appointment. Of course, we had Titi and Stefan with us. Titi had chosen names. I want either Peggy or Cow.
Oh, yeah.
Cow? Like
Cow.
Cow, like the animal?
Yeah.
That's a good name.
Or Pig. I just really liked farm animal names at the time. I think Lion was another option, though. Not
like
a farm animal, but Cow was a good one. I feel like it was either Diego or Cow at that
Maybe
point.
we could use that for our kid.
True. That's an option.
Yeah.
After Uncle
Caliente?
Al. Yeah.
Oh.
We'll say what Caliente is.
Caliente is our daughter's name, so then we'll have Caliente and Cow.
Or that could be her middle name. Caliente Cow Milk.
That's a possibility.
Or Cow could be short for Caliente.
Caliente.
Yeah, these are all good ideas.
Yeah.
I still remember being in the hospital with Mommy, which is my mom. She was pregnant with you. I'm not kidding. I know it sounds made up, but I still remember playing with these like hospital curtains while Mommy was like doing some like ultrasonic thing. I remember that day, my sister and I, we went to Denny's and we got like they used to have, remember the rocket ship? Yeah. Where it had like half of it was chocolate milk, half of it was strawberry milk. And I remember that day, I got in, I just kept thinking about it. And I still remember that day. I just remember you were not even born yet, which kind of sucks, but yeah. But I'm not kidding, that's my earliest memory.
Right away, as soon as we saw the ultrasound, the technician said, it's a boy. Right away, Papi and I looked at each other and we said, it's Diego. It's Diego. And in the upcoming ultrasounds, every ultrasound you would kind of wave and start sucking your thumb. That was just awesome. And then leading up to labor, you were very comfortable. You did not want to come out, but you were getting bigger and bigger. Out of the 3 children, you were the biggest one, 8 pounds, 3 ounces and long. So the doctor said, we have to induce. The day before, she had me walk and she told Papi, it's like, take her walking to induce labor. So we went to a ballpark and walked and nothing. You were just comfortable. By the last week, she was seeing me every day. She saw me. I went to my appointment and she's like, baby's getting too big, so we need to induce you. And you're already 3 days late, going on to the 4th day. That day, your Tia Coco accompanied me. The plan was to go to the doctor's appointment and then go to IHOP and have some pancakes, which I still owe her those pancakes because we never got a chance to eat those pancakes. The doctor sent us straight to the hospital, and from there I called Papi and it's like, it's time, it's happening. She induced labor and that came quick. My OB doctor was not able to be there because she had another emergency when all of a sudden this obstetrician comes in. Very like, what a character of a doctor. I remember because he was wearing a brown 1970s or late 60s polyester suit. He was amazing. He came in and all of a sudden I'm like, baby's being born. All I remember is like, okay, push. And then the first thing I saw was that he's like, yes, it's a boy. And all I saw was a stream. You peed on the doctor's face. And so the doctor was holding it like, he's like, it's okay. And I was like, that's my Diego. That's what full of surprises. And right away, I held you in my arms and I just kissed your little face and your eyes. I'm like, I love you, my Diego. Welcome. Happy birthday.
Some of my earliest memories happened to be in Temecula, but my family wasn't moved in there at the time. They were still in San Diego, where I was born. So let's see what they have to say about that.
San Diego's always been a beautiful place that we like a lot. Perfect weather and a lot of things to do for you guys, especially at the age with SeaWorld and Legoland and Disneyland not too far away. It was Balboa Park. You guys grew up in Balboa Park. We had everything we wanted and needed. I guess have a great time with our kids, with you guys. A little bit stressful on the financial side. I've always had a job and then work on the side, so I was working all the time just to make ends meet. It was not easy, but God provided, and it was a lot of fun. By that time, we lived on a ghetto, which was Logan Heights. Now it's not the same. Now it's actually pretty expensive. When we were there, we had bought our first home, and that's what we can afford back then.
Yes, a lot of crime was rising in San Diego, especially that area, Logan Heights, better known as Barrio Logan.
We lived in like ghetto in San Diego. We literally lived in the hood. And there would be gunshots at night. There would be crazy people out in the streets. Our neighbor was a hired assassin who got caught.
Dang.
But he said he had our backs.
I have a memory of a snail. Like, I remember we had a property in San Diego, and it was a small house, and it was near downtown. And I remember walking around the property, and there was like a snail, and that's like all I remember from San Diego. Oh yeah, then I remember crashing my head as a kid, and like when I was 2. So
the day that STEFAN hit his head on the corner in San Diego, there was like a really sharp corner, and he was running, and he hit his head, but Diego and I were in Diego's crib. Like I hopped in his crib and I was chilling and we were watching TV. And now I'm like, he was a tiny baby. And I was like 5 or 6.
Do you know what you were watching?
I feel like it was probably like Teletubbies or Sesame Street or something.
After it was either the second or third gunshot on the street, we decided to go because of your safety.
Even the last night in our little house on Ocean View Boulevard, I was packing the last items and we had to drop to the floor. Gunshots right across the street.
We decided to sell the house, sell land that we had in San Diego, move somewhere else, a nicer place. We could not afford what we wanted in San Diego. It was like literally $1.3 million back in 2000s for what we wanted to give you in terms of a house and lifestyle and schools and clubhouse and all that. We ended up going to Temecula and finding exactly the same thing. Same developer, Macmillan, beautiful homes, excellent school system, and it was idyllic. So we ended up moving there. It was the best decision we could ever have made at that point to give you a very nice lifestyle. No regrets for that. It was, in my opinion, the best decision.
Moving from San Diego to Temecula was huge. Going from that to Temecula, like a very nice suburban city, it was a huge change. It was really nice.
That's good.
I remember you being a lot more Mexican. Like Go Diego Go, you reminded me a lot of Go Diego Go. Probably because you were more tan, and you played a lot of soccer. You were very hyper as a kid, I remember. Like, you would always make sounds and stuff, and oh my god, just a lot of memories, a lot of fun memories. You were a really fun kid. I'm glad you hung out with other kids,
You were very energetic. That's one thing I really enjoyed and loved about you, that you enjoyed being a toddler. I would get worried because you would just take off. We were at the zoo. Back then we had a membership at the zoo. Even though we were in Temecula, we would go to the zoo. I remember at first we would say, those parents, they put their kids on leashes. And then you took off running by when those tour bus was passing by, and Papi was able to grab you from the shirt and Next time we went to the zoo, you and Stefan had a leash. It was a little monkey, I think, and a little, yeah.
He had a leash whenever we'd go to the zoo because he was like a runner, and so he would like wobble.
Did you go to the zoo a lot?
I feel like we kind of did. Like, there's a lot of memories going to the safari park.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never been.
Really? It's pretty fun.
Very energetic, but you were always on schedule. Out of the three, you were the only baby that 3 weeks of being born, you slept through the night. And that would worry me because that wasn't my experience. I would have to wake you up to feed you. But yeah, you slept from 9 a.m. all the way to 5 a.m., which is for a newborn is unusual. So I would have to wake you up like at 1 in the morning and feed you. We love you at that age, how much energy you had, but also very worried because you would just see something and very decisive. I see something, a toy, a tree, a flower. You were very in tune with earth. You would be attracted by like a twig or a flower. You would look at it and take off, and that was our concern, that wherever we were, we had to keep an eye on you because you would take off running.
I just remember you were a runner. Like, we were in Mexico one time for our cousin's communion, and I just remember that there was like, what is it called? A little jumpy bouncy house.
Oh.
You were close.
Well, I wasn't there.
You weren't? And I just remember, like, I was on the little bouncy house and Diego would just like run off into like the middle of nowhere basically. But there was this one time, or that day, where Diego went up these stairs that didn't have like a, what is it called? A railing, and that he like tried to jump off, and it was like 2 stories high, and we don't know how he survived.
Did he do it?
He like basically did, but we don't really know what happened. He like, I don't know. He just survived.
I'll add to the experience we had when you were 2 years old. You had just turned 2, and it was Ana Paula's first communion in Rosarito. They had it like at a little, I guess like a little clubhouse, but it was still under construction. The second floor was under construction, so it had stairs on the outside leading to the second floor, but nothing securing it. Since Mami Sonia was sitting on the other side of the garden there, Papi was sitting talking to her. I made a sign to Papi that you were gonna walk over there, because I was keeping an eye on Stefan because he was still in the bouncing house. When I saw that you didn't arrive, and I kept looking, and it was like looking through all the kids that were there because it was 3 communions in one. I started walking that way, and my heart just sunk when I'm like, oh my God, I'm pretty sure he went upstairs to the second floor in a building that is being under construction with no rails, nothing, no safety rails, nothing. It was just like the roof of the first floor. That is just something, and to this day, the only thing I can think of is I have no doubt that God sent an angel to lift you up and put you back on the roof there. It was the best thing I can describe it. I started walking, and when I didn't see you up there, my heart sunk. When I looked, you were on the other side, right on the edge, ready to jump. And you gave me the smile that I knew you were gonna up to something. So I'm like, Diego, and all of a sudden I just see you jump. And I ran, and when I ran, it happened so quick. It was almost like if somebody catch you and put you back up. No hands, no nothing. And I held you, and I looked down. There wasn't anywhere where you could have jumped. The only explanation is that an angel put you back on the roof, because when I looked down, to my surprise, it was just a drop. I mean, you could have been either killed or seriously hurt, and there's no other explanation. It was supernatural, and I have no doubt that an angel just put you back on the roof.
I have feedback also about that age when you were a toddler in Temecula. Yeah, I agree with Mommy about all the energy you had, and it was a lot of fun. You were very funny, but also we were very scared. I had nightmares, like often, of you falling from the mall, from the railing, from you name it. I had nightmare after nightmare after nightmare. And one day we were having a meeting in our house in Temecula, and in the middle of the meeting, God came to me and He told me, go look for your baby. I got really alarmed, and I stood up and I told everyone, I'm sorry, but I have to. God just told me to look for Diego, so please excuse me. So I walked outside and I started looking for you, and there were you in the middle of the street. Yeah, just, moving like a baby, right? Crawling in the middle of the street, not the sidewalk, where cars were going to turn and probably not see you. So that was very scary. So a lot of fun, a lot of energy, but scary.
After that, childproof our home. That's what we did. That's why we had those high locks on every single door. We had to childproof everything. Can I add something?
Yeah.
When you were still a toddler there in Temecula, Titi and Stefan started school. You were 3. I went outside. You were taking a nap in my room, in Papi's nice room, upstairs. And when I went outside through the kitchen door, the door shut and it locked. I got locked out. And so I started knocking on the door, rang the doorbell, nothing. Good thing the window was open, so I started calling your name. Diego, for I don't know how long, until I woke you up. And since I woke you up, I remember your little face, so upset that I woke you up, and you looked down and I'm like, open the door, and you're like, no. And I'm like, Diego, I can't go in. Just come down, baby, open the door. No. So I'm like, I'll get you ice cream. I had to negotiate with you, and then you came and unlocked the door. But it took me a little negotiation, but very straightforward. No, because you were upset that I woke you up. So
Celebrating my 4th birthday, my parents invited almost everyone they knew. I loved the movie Iron Man, so my parents requested for Iron Man to show up for the special occasion, as well as many kids and parents I didn't know too well, besides my family, of course.
Iron Man came out, and you guys were obviously big fans, especially you. First Superman and then Iron Man, so it had to be Iron Man. And I was thinking how to do it, how to bring Iron Man to your party, and we did it. Prepared for it, and we did it, and bought the costume and wore it, and I prepared a video that ended up being scary for the kids. I thought it was going to be artistic.
My parents wanted to make my birthday memorable and played very strange and questionable videos on the projector. What was funny about these videos was that my dad recorded them on a digital camera and used the footage to play on the projector screen. One video that stood out to me, mainly because it made me afraid, was this short film depicted a robot in a junkyard chained to a pole.
That one was scary because Papi made a little, almost like a PowerPoint presentation, or
for what?
It's like an iMovie, and he compiled several YouTube videos and made it into one big movie, but it was really weird.
What kind of videos?
There was like these apocalyptic robots that were depressed. And
Iron Man's hanging out at a dump?
Yeah. It was weird. It wasn't Iron Man though, it was like a robot. But anyways, yeah, that was interesting.
I put the video on, and then I surprised everyone as Iron Man, and you were scared.
You didn't know it was Papi.
Yeah, you obviously didn't know it was me, so I hugged you and carried you, and I think you were still scared.
I remember walking around a lot mostly because I remember just the environment. You know, it was a lot of my dad's friends, which were Mexicans, you know, so they were talking Spanish. So I tried to engage with them, but I didn't understand Spanish. And then I'll walk to you guys, and you guys were always doing something crazy, so...
That was the custom to do, to just, invite everyone.
All our friends from, all the friends from San Diego, they were all there.
Mm-hmm.
Some neighbor friends, they were all there. The kids.
Yeah, because they all had little kids.
Right.
Later, we would spend a couple of days in Sedona, Arizona, celebrating my birthday.
Oh, you're right. Yes, it was your Ironman party, and then we went to Sedona because we took all the party leftovers, all the fruit and all the things that we served. You're right. You're absolutely right.
That was a lot of fun. I remember, here's one thing about me. I used to be obsessed with sharks. In 2010, we went to Las Vegas first, and we went to a shark aquarium. For some reason, I love sharks, but the biggest thing I loved was there was like a shark toy in the gift shop. You know those ones where it just opens, and it was a shark one. It said, one way or another, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And I really wanted that, and that was like the funnest thing to me. And in Sedona, I remember Sedona, and I remember specifically using the blue camera a lot. So to me, like more than Sedona, the camera was more nostalgic, because the camera, the startup sound it made, it was like, that brings me back to Sedona. So if you had that camera, like I could probably tell you like a lot about Sedona in 2010.
I remember you were scared of the aliens. They had like a ton of alien art and decor.
Why?
Because apparently that's a hot spot for UFO sightings.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see any?
Maybe. I know you guys maybe did. But Diego, we have a picture of him crying. Like, I think Mommy's holding you, and there's like a UFO with an alien in it. And Diego
A real one?
A real one. Yeah. It landed right in front of us. Should have been there.
Okay.
Slide Rock was fun.
What's that?
It's like a river, but with the red rocks, so it's smooth, so the rocks turn into kind of like slides. And so you go along with the stream and you're like
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would say so. Right?
I mean, it sounds cool. I haven't been.
Would you go though after hearing this?
Yeah.
Should we take it?
If I get an invitation next time.
Maybe.
Sedona would then become a staple of our family for any celebration or birthday party. However, that same place would be when my parents got the call to set a date for my brain surgery. A very significant feature in my life began in 2010. At this time, I was living in Southern California, and I had experienced my first serious injury before I turned 5 years old. I was climbing the kitchen pantry, and I fell on the tile, landing on my head. My parents quickly rushed me to the emergency room in San Diego.
We were all there in the pantry in the kitchen, and then the family room with the TV. And all of a sudden, I just remember a big thump, like the sound of a big thump, and I ran, and I think Papi ran too, and you were crying because it seems like you were climbing the shelves and you fell back, and then since we had like a wooden piece there of the top of the table, I think when you hit your head, not only did you hit your head, but then it bounced back and hit you. You fell on it and then it fell back on you.
This was in Temecula. He tends to climb the pantry, and I just remember the day that he fell and hit his head, and I was like, not this again.
Was it bad?
Well, he was a big time climber. He was so rebellious, and it was
He still is.
Yeah, he still is. I remember what do you remember?
I'll let you take this one.
I remember the loud thump, boom, and then Mommy was nervous and was like, ah, he fell. And
Did he break anything?
No. But we used to have this table that, it was a circular table with a cover on it. It was like a wooden cover, and you take off the wooden cover, and there was chess a little chessboard or like to play poker. The wooden cover was in the pantry, wasn't it? Because we thought maybe it fell on you. And it was heavy. It wasn't like a thin one. It was like a big wooden cover.
How old was he?
5. I was going to say 3.
That's embarrassing.
5? It was around that time. He was a wee lad.
I remember I was with you and I could have prevented it, but I thought it would be funny to see you climb to the top. I remember specifically we had a round wooden table. So I was actually more focused because the top of the wooden table, we placed it in the pantry. And for some reason, I remember it kept toppling over. So I was more focused on that than like the safety of you falling. But I didn't care too much because that was just so much fun. Like I remember sleeping in a pantry, climbing up the pantry. It was like a little jungle gym for us with a lot of non-perishable goods, you know. Yeah, especially from that time because of the 2008 crisis. You can imagine a pantry during that time, just canned food, probably like a box of like Special K cereal, and that's it. So we were really struggling, but I was really happy because we were oblivious to it. Yeah, I remember you falling, and mommy, yeah, I remember her getting kind of upset at me because I was right there and I could have prevented it. But yeah, I remember right away they went in and got you. But I remember mostly before it, not after it, actually.
I'd lift you up and went and sat down on the couch with you and try to comfort you and see if you opened like any blood, any injuries. And what worried me was that your eyes started to roll back and your body just started to go, you know, limp. Yeah, that's when I told Papi, I'm gonna take him to the hospital. And Papi stayed home. I just took you because Stefan and Titi were little, and it's a hospital emergency room. It's like, why show up with the whole family? And so put you in the car seat, and I was talking to you. You responded, but it did worry me that for a few seconds your eyes rolled back and your body, but then you were back to almost normal, but I could see you still, like if you're gonna faint. So yeah, they took you in right away and they did a CT scan and they said, yeah, he hit his head. It's like, but nothing, he just has a bruise. But we found a cyst, and it was on the left side of your brain. And they said it's right in between the skull and on the brain, and it could be putting pressure on the brain. So that's when it's like, yeah, see the primary doctor, and we recommend you see a pediatric neurosurgeon, and that's when everything started to take off into place regarding, it's called a arachnoid cyst on the brain.
After an evaluation, I was diagnosed with an arachnoid cyst on the left side of my brain. Mine happened to be the size of a quarter. An arachnoid cyst is a sac of spinal fluid. It doesn't necessarily have an origin, so when I fell off the pantry and landed on my head, that did not cause the cyst. But it gave it a reason to get an MRI scan that ultimately found it. With this, my parents contacted a neurosurgeon and rescheduled for a surgery.
Yeah, when we went to see what was going on, took Stefan and Titi, and we were able to see you, I was not really understanding what was going on because it was just the memory of you hitting your head. And now the fact that there was something else, we're trying to understand what is it that Diego has. What do you mean? What is that? We didn't know if it was something malignant or it was something really, really, scary that needed immediate surgery, immediate attention. So it was scary. It was very scary.
And you had just started speech therapy. You were in speech therapy, and I remember told your therapist, and she's like, okay, we'll pray for him, and a lot of people praying for you. Research for a pediatric neurosurgeon, and God just provided the best, which was Dr. Levy in San Diego, in Children's Hospital San Diego. And so we took you. It's like, okay, right away, do an MRI. Now the MRI for me back then, having an MRI was like something almost new, and just you didn't know what to expect. And then at your age, they would have to put you under general anesthesia, and that scared me. Just having see you with the IV, with the oxygen mask and then just see you fall asleep is just, I don't know, it was, for a moment there, it's almost like my heart skipped a beat, just like I was frozen in time. But deep down I knew you were gonna be okay. And then Dr. Levy explained that arachnoid cyst, which is like a bubble of liquid, fluid, and just watch out for any symptoms, because if it puts pressure on the brain, it could cause like some delays, which was difficult because you were a toddler, and what are the things to look out for headaches, and so make sure you're not dehydrated or hungry, or if you're not paying attention, and that's hard with a toddler, because you say put your shoes on like 5 times, and so we just kept an eye on it, and follow your symptoms. If you had any headaches, you started having headaches right, you were almost 5 when you started having headaches a little bit more often, and then I called Dr. Levy. It's like, let's do another MRI, and your birthday, March 25th, came along, and so we went to Sedona. And while we were in Sedona, Dr. Levy personally called me and said, he's a candidate for surgery. You're going to get a call. And we're like, okay. It's like, so be ready, because surgery is next week.
July 2010. I'll never forget it. That was the month of my brain surgery. I spent the next few nights at the Children's Hospital in San Diego. The procedure I went through was called a shunt. A shunt is a surgical technique in which the neurosurgeon inserts a thin, flexible tube into the cyst to drain the excess fluid. This is to relieve pressure from the surrounding brain tissue. I enjoyed this experience. The neurosurgeon did a great job in ensuring my safety throughout the whole procedure. I remember one of my visits, I got to pick out the scent of my anesthesia, bubblegum or cherry. I picked bubblegum, of course. Who wouldn't? It wasn't the procedure or injury that changed my life. The night of the surgery, I had a very intimate and heartfelt dream. A dream that would recur every so often. A dream that inspired my film.